I, your most humble correspondent, your old buddy Josh, just me with my dogs, my t-shirt. My t-shirt's actually in right side in because I just got back from a University of Georgia tailgate. I solved the retirement planning puzzle. How did I solve that? Oh, it's just reading. It's amazing. It's amazing what happens when you just read some literature. You're like, interesting. And anyone in the right mind should have solved this before me, well before me. Some people have, very, very few people, but some people have. Of course, they were, almost like during the let's just say the COVID issue, where all the righteous scientists were pushed aside, banned, and all that, and then they signed that great Barrington Declaration. Oh, conspiracy theorists! We don't want to hear from them. Or the anti climate change in terms of global warming being caused by human beings. 97% of scientists say it is. You're like, do you actually know what that survey is? Do you know? Because if you do and you're still saying that, you're a liar. If you don't know, then you're ignorant, and you're being ignorant on purpose, deliberately ignorant, because that 97 thing is a fraud. Anyway, so we know for a fact that there's a lot of people scared crapless about retirement because they've been told for basically our whole lives, retirement crisis, retirement crisis. I built my whole channel on this. And it's just that simple. So to validate what I say, I read a lot of literature. And a lot of this literature goes back many, many moons. So check this out. I'm going to show you something here. So I go back to, oh boy, now Pop wants to go outside. I have data sets on top of data sets. We're going back to BLS numbers here, the monthly labor review, just for all kinds of, why is it necessary to change? They just redesigned the questionnaire. Lots of great stuff in this stuff, man. I love it. Some of it's not relevant to retirement planning. Other stuff is. Let's look over here. What's this guy? Oh, this has nothing to do with retirement, but this is the kind of stuff that I find very interesting. This is, let me just go back to the front page here. A Century of Finance, 1804 to 1904. The London House of Rothschild. If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. Anyway, so I read a lot, my friends. I read a lot because reading is where you gain knowledge, all right? And so this right here, my formerly nicotine-stained fingers, is from the CPS, the Center of the U.S. Census Bureau. All right, so we got, how many freaking pages is this? 230 pages of data from 2000, and they wrote this 2010, I believe. And this goes back to, you'll see right here, measurement of income and poverty in the CPS background. All right, and look at this. What's this one right here? This is going to say retirement income. Retirement income. All right, interesting, is it not? Yes, sir, it is. And so now I'm going to get my trusty glasses. I'm going to show you. Now, remember, this was published in 2010. The Social Security Administration was still using the Current Population Survey, CPS, to say how many people are relying heavily on Social Security. Finally, in 2017, the Social Security Administration says, yeah, this information is suspect. It's wrong. As a matter of fact, we're not going to use it anymore. And they haven't adjusted since. They haven't changed it. And I saw that. No one else saw it. I did. I'm sure someone else saw it. But the vast majority of academics and whatnot, they didn't say crap about it. There's a guy named Joshua Mitchell and some other guy who had written an article for the Census Bureau saying, hey, the numbers are wrong for CPS. CPS, the Current Population Survey. And you're saying, well, what exactly is the legitimate CPS, all right? Exactly is the Current Population Survey. So we're going to go. At the Census Bureau request, the bulk of our analysis and recommendations focus on the CPS, which has been the official data source for estimates of household income and poverty in the U.S. for over half a century. And again, this is back in 2010 they had written this. Interesting. So basically the gold standard of what the government is using for household income and poverty. Household income includes what? Retirement income. Oh, yes, it does. And that's where we have a whole section of retirement income. So let's just take a look, shall we? Yes, we shall. While earnings are the dominant source of income in the U.S., their contribution to family income declines steeply as family members scale back their paid labor hours and eventually retire. Whether the transition is gradual or abrupt, earnings are replaced by various forms of retirement income. Indeed, the adequacy of Social Security and traditional pension plans, which paid monthly benefits for life, is often expressed in terms of percentage of earnings that they replace. Social Security remains a critical source of financial support in retirement, but traditional pensions, are declining in importance in the private sector. About 40 years ago, the ERISA, Employee Retirement Income Security Act, imposed uniform vesting, funding, and other requirements on defined benefit plans. And as a result, employers gradually shifted to defined retirement plans. Interesting, interesting. Our principal federal surveys of household income typically contain multiple detailed questions on defined benefit plans, but have lagged in addressing the newer forms of retirement income. Consequently, as defined benefit pensions decline in importance, less and less of the income flowing to retired persons is captured in these surveys. Absent changes to the survey income questions, or perhaps the underlying concept of income that they measure, these surveys cannot capture the income from newer sources of retirement income. Interesting. That's crazy. For instance, IRAs are not tied to a specific employer. These accounts do not provide fixed monthly amounts after retirement, but give their owners flexibility to withdraw funds when needed. But whereas pension payments are uniformly counted as income in household surveys, withdrawals from retirement accounts now in the hundreds of billions annually. Withdrawals from retirement accounts now in the hundreds of billions annually are not uniformly, they're not counted correctly. In the CPS, such withdrawals are a small fraction of the size in a couple other surveys that we use, but remember, CPS is the gold standard. While retirements, and then a negligible fraction of what the actual IRS data is. All right, so the current population survey, the gold standard, is they say retirement withdrawals are in the hundreds of billions annually, and yet what we're showing the CPS, the gold standard of showing income and poverty, is a fraction of what's actually being shown in the IRS data. Interesting. While retirement income is still dominated by Social Security and traditional pensions, the aggregate holdings in the newer type of accounts already exceed those of traditional pensions. The share of retirement income attributable to these newer type of accounts will continue to grow. Absent changes to the CPS, the survey will underestimate true retirement income by an increasing margin in years to come. Now, let me just give you an example of this. Oh, right here. Here's another one here, too. Just another thing. This is for poor people. To the most important sources, supplemental security income and public assistance are already substantially underestimated in the CPS. So the data collected on these two sources of income should, if anything, be expanded. However, given the infrequency of some of the other sources of income, substantial streamlining is possible. So basically, they're not accounting for what's called transfer payments very well. And they're not accounting for IRA distributions, which are in the hundreds of billions annually. All right, so check this out. I'll see you right here. Public assistance is one of the most poorly reported sources of income in the CPS, but is received principally by low-income families with few other resources of income. Interesting. Better reporting of public assistance is important to accurate measure of poverty. So we would think that if we have better reporting of public assistance, what would that do? Make people less poor in retirement. We also suggest the Census Bureau clarify that dividends include mutual fund payments characterized as capital gain distribution, that interest and dividends exclude amounts in retirement accounts, and provide a definition of rental income. Interesting. So they don't even have this stuff right when it comes to dividends, capital gains, and other things. With respect to wages, the small print on the questionnaire says to report amounts before deductions of taxes, bonds, dues, and other items. A better list of inclusions that would fit in the same space would be taxes, retirement, health insurance, and other deductions. The goal of the survey is to obtain gross income before any and all deductions. So how many people say in their Social Security, I get $200 a month in Social Security? But they actually get $350 a month in Social Security, but $150 of that went to Medicare. But they're still going to report on the data set they only get $250 or $200 because the CPS is looking for gross. They're not looking for it, and the gross is how much do you get Social Security gross? I get $5,000 a year, and then they're going to say, but I pay $3,000 a year of Medicare, so I'm only getting $2,000 a year. That's not what they want. Again, we're underreporting income significantly in the CPS. We've been doing it for friggin' decades. Retirement income. There currently is no small print under Social Security, but it'd be useful to add a note to report the amount before deductions and taxes and Medicare premiums. For other retirement income, the first step is obtaining improved reporting is to reword what is currently the pension question to add distributions from IRAs and 401ks that are currently not mentioned. So what do you talk about that? So check this out. On the survey itself, it's very interesting. because you'll say, well, how would anyone answer this correctly? I'll show you. Hang tight. Let me get to the thing. Here's a CPS questionnaire right there. You'll see sources of income sources, major source and component sources. You'll see wages and salaries. You'll see self-employment income, unemployment, Social Security benefits, railroad benefits, supplemental security income. Again, it doesn't say if it's net or gross. It just says put it in there. And then you're going to see down here, regular withdrawals from IRA or Keogh. Regular withdrawals. Huh. So what's a non-regular withdrawal? What if I take $5,000 every 3 months? That's a non-regular withdrawal. What if I take $5,000 out this month, $2,000 out next month, and nothing the month after? Is that a regular withdrawal? No. I remember I read that. I read the survey back in 2014 or 15. I said, this doesn't make any sense. I remember that like it was yesterday. So you can see right there, because they're saying veterans payments, income from a pension, pension from a company, union, federal service pension, U.S. military pension, state or local pension, regular withdrawals. It looks like they're saying, are you set up on a monthly distribution schedule for your IRA 401k? And that's it. And that's what they say. They say interest, dividends, rent, child support, alimony income. And that's how you get it. That's why there's been screwed up for so long. And that's why they're much underreporting income for retirees and poor people as well. Right now, we just really care about retirees. And as such, that is why the retirement income puzzle is now solved, because for years they've been underreporting income for retirees. And as such, you can feel free to retire. Now, if you're coming in with heavy debt, you probably can't. But if you got your stuff together, you're going to probably be good to go. I can't guarantee you that. But at the end of the day, we solved the puzzle because we aren't asking the right questions. And yet so many, either these people have to know this or they just deliberately ignored it. I don't understand. But there's no excuse anymore. Because even the Social Security statement, the Social Security Administration says this explicitly in the Social Security documents. Even the CPS, the Census Bureau, said it explicitly. The current population survey is suspect when it comes to retirement income. That's, my friends, is a fact. Puzzle solved. God bless. Give me a like on the thing. Fondle the like button. If you want to throw a super chat or buy a coffee, it'd be my pleasure. It'd be my pleasure. Buy me a coffee. It's in the show notes. We'll see you.